out of 10. This has been definitely an eye-opening experience, and I'm sure the rest of these teams will certainly be saying the same. God only knows what this tournament will look at like at the end of this, Rich. I mean, it's been a shake-up for sure. Tornado Energy have been, heads and shoulders above most people, but it has still got a lot of games to go. This is not over. This is just the first look. How much do we need to pay attention to this? How much do we have to put into this being actually how it might look down the end?
Nope, doesn't get it. I was hoping we were going to get a knockout there, but never mind. I think we do definitely have to pay attention here. There is absolutely no question whatsoever about it, given what we saw. Oh, potential for Zerk.
Normally, when we see this, that strip of land to the north that I like to call the Tendy, does become the primary focus for these teams. There is a lot of the South Island still in this, so it's not obviously a 100% bet. Now, we did just see one of the Wildcats get found early on, but there is a trade coming back in. BSD gets back in, but BSD gets traded on, so this is, whichever way you want to cut it, potentially a loss for the Wildcats, unless She Created or maybe Levant could get this back on to maybe an even trade. But for now, it's a bit of a rough one for both of these teams.
Do you think his name's actually Resolution? He's just memeing us all this time.
Yes. Other than you've got Narvi just south of the old Moline town, so it gets a little bit spicier. We do see the continued fight between the Wildcats and TQ carrying on. They've certainly remembered what happened, and Levant has tried to avenge the fallen teammates. But as of for now, it's just quite scrappy on the outskirts.
Yeah, up on the plateau as you come into Savernit, you probably see nuclear penguins just set up there, just for the fact that they need to get themselves together and figure out what's going on and where they want to go next. They're hoping the circle does come their way.
I think Senya and Kemba are a little bit more isolated, but this is going to be a hard fight whichever way you want to cut it. Better luck next time getting the attention of Besiktas on the cross. And you've got to be careful they're not outstay your welcome. And then Carl is waiting on the other side. Still kind of curious on that Na'Vi fight here. Yeah, we'll keep a little bit of an eye on it as well. Down to the bottom right of your screen as the flush towards Arctic is going to come in. And can Northern Lights stay alive? That's the big question here. Na'Vi are quite meticulous. They don't often kind of go aggressive early game. And sub 10 minutes, this is quite early game for Na'Vi.
They can disconnect completely for it and run off separately. All right, so they're taking the two I was talking about. Where the other person is oh, Kemba got shot off the back of it. Oh, no. Okay. It was a sketchy one from the very start. I mean, I like the play. I think it was good to they do work things out and talk to one another and kind of get the lay of the land before just diving in head first. For that one, may have been just a bit too much. That's a response and a half. I've actually sent one back at, what, a good 400, 500-meter shot from the opposing side.
Real casual. Barrels galore. Couldn't get out 18 to move. Look at that covering fire. So instantaneous in place. Gustav has his buddies back. Instantly gets the fire down. Quickly gets the flush. And there's no chance for a response. Yes, they lost out on the corner compound here, but so what? They can fall back towards Georgopol and have their safety in numbers.
Into the field to watch the building from there. Better look next time up past the plane crash. Snip is waiting here for them, Lauren.
Yeah, I like Snip's positioning. When I looked at this, well, the previous circle, I think there was two options. That one, either it went out towards the west a little, where kind of raise your edges, or went a little bit more central, almost east, where kind of Snip was waiting. And it did go further to the west, but yeah, Snip's position is still pretty good at catching people trying to transition from east to west here. So they might be able to get a good couple of kills. Whether or not they can stay alive through this, or stay as 4, is the next big thing, if they can.
Factor to all of this one, Lauren, is that Ents have still kept the 2-2 from basically the start of this match. They've sent Squeaky and Diggory more towards the middle to play the wood side of it, but they've left Rustam Ma and Tixu in the quad stack, the 4 stack, whatever you want to call it, cubes, to watch the bridge. This denies rotations. And by the way, on the map, I'm actually just seeing from nowhere, Unity have arrived. All this has been going down. Unity have been playing blue. I apologize, I didn't see them earlier on. Unity have yet to make any stands within a circle for the last 2 or 3. Yeah, I didn't even realize this. They're beyond Georgopol. They're just above hospital now, just wandering in. So they'll take the North George Bridge, or the West Bridge, whatever you want to call it, coming behind Raise Your Edge. That could be an absolute shocker. A complete shocker for Raise Your Edge that someone comes behind them. If that happens, that is just absolutely unlucky. If this happens and they get punished for that, that is just pure unluck.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, who would predict it at this point? I mean, yeah, you might keep an eye on Georgia Poll in case FaZe decide to do it, but you're not expecting a whole other team to come flying out of there. Now, the circle's kind of shifted towards, again, the compounds we thought it might, kind of in between the Fields compound and the one where Levant currently is, that sort of ridgeline that runs across. Yes, you can have multiple teams on that ridgeline, but it's super, super visible, and the Northern Lights are losing out in the blue, somewhat to be expected due to the fact that they struggled making it in, and here comes Unity again, another surprise factor. Whether or not Razor Edge see them is yet to be, decided. That could be a factor now, because Monkey's somewhat looking that way. So we'll see. We'll keep our minds towards it. Quantum trying to slip in, trying to avoid detection. Oh my word, that is very, very fortunate timing for old Robert. Tab's been called a foe. This eastern side, I don't think anyone makes this out cleanly. If any of those teams get 3+ of their players in, it would be a miracle, but no. Besiktas down in 15th. Another poor performance for them, sadly.
16, 16, 13, 16, 16, 15. I hate to be that guy, but that is not good, boys. You need to go away, reset, watch the VOD, because that ain't going to cut it. You will not be making grand finals. And remember, this is essentially acting as our major, right? And I know we call them all different things, and it's the Continental. It's all to be said. If you want to be at the top of your region, you want to prove yourself, and you want to prove to the rest of the players. This is the place to do it. We have a 6-day group stage, and then we have 2 2-day grand finals. Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. Yep. They're only 5 maps each. 20-game finals. It's pretty damn good. Looking forward to it, but we got to get there first. And you got to get yourself out of group stage. It's a tough lobby. It's a rough old lobby. You got the best in Europe. Just to touch on the old scenario that we spoke about, it kind of is unfolding. I've seen Raise Your Edge have turned and faced Unity. Naileup is disconnected from the rest of the team, so it will move into a 4 versus 3. Keep an eye on the kill feed, see if it kicks off, because we've got battles going on all over the bloody map. This is going to get dicey.
Yeah, the eastern side is going to be brutal, and this is a big fight for potentially a large portion of the map. And as you said, with Naileup disconnected, it's going to be a disadvantage fight for Raise Your Edge. They're going to be struggling with their numbers, and they need to get a pick fast. And a clean one of that. And Unity, no slouches. FaZe could maybe chime in and get Danny Mono set if they go over the hillside on the other edge, which I don't think they'll do, so they should be okay. But it looks like FaZe might be coming up on this. I see Gustav and Fuzzface getting quite close in vehicles, so they might be waiting on the jump off. If they see blood in the water, they'll pile into it. Now in the east, you've got Snip being taken down from either the Penguins diving in, Red Zone diving in. Anyone could steal those kills right now, and here comes the breaking point. The blue hurts too much. There's too many players there. Too congested, and Ents is even leaning into this from the south, sending ticks.
Push down the hill, Naileup can actually play a factor here. He can overwatch the team that comes over the hill. He can keep a track of Unity if they're going to be peeking and maybe trying to get a quick pick. Pray and spray. Tixu only does about maybe less than 50% damage. Should have knocked that one on the head. Example now allowed to run away with this. Keeps going again. 2 times isn't paying off. M4, maybe not what it used to be. Ever so slight damage reduction. We shall see if some more players do start to transition over to the barrel. Comes and faces off, though, squares up and goes down. Rustamar has been knocked. And instantly there is fire from a distance. Very little HP on the side of Rustamar because Quizzy's coming in to get the job done. Try and finish it off. Put a bottle cap on this one. Squeaky has also arrived to maybe try and lend support to this, but Melman, SLR, distance. Gustav also getting involved straight into the steal. FaZe jumps in. You spoke about Unity. Maybe we have an eye line on them. Set has fallen. Headshot off the back of Uber. No doubt that'll be a mini with an 8 times on if memory serves me correctly and history repeats itself. Quizzy, a Mailman. Off the back of 2 wins. The feeling good on this one. Still 4 frags as well. Might be able to skirt it into the top 10. But they will be running simultaneously with ends towards a circle. Then all of a sudden you've got the Wildcats, WP, GF. All in front of them. This is super, super risky. The next one that will unfold, it'll actually be Unity versus FaZe. I'm glad we've jumped on board with this one because they just had 2 fall back to back.
Very uncharacteristic of FaZe. In my eyes, they don't, badly approach these fights. They're normally very diligent at that. AC and Gustav weren't really able to get into the fight as much as maybe they'd like. You're going to see Unity actually keeping 4 standing and taking away Uber and Fuzzface. I think Uber's still knocked, but yeah, you've just seen Gustav go down as well. This isn't good for FaZe. This is not the clinical team that I expect, and again, I hold them to a high standard because they are FaZe Clan. They are one of the best in the world, and those fights, you see them win. They turn up. They're smart, they're clinical, they're quick on these, aggresses. They don't, waste time on it. 80 now going to be tasked with dealing with 4 players potentially looking their way. And, simple math says that this doesn't work out well for him, considering he's also further out towards the blue than they are. So Unity initially looked they were going to fight Raise Your Edge. Raise Your Edge disconnected, went towards the compound, and just moved up the hillside more towards the north, and left Unity and FaZe to fight it out. And, well, as expected... Wow. Well, I mean, looking at it, yeah, FaZe, probably were going to die in that fight after those first 2 knocks came in, but do I expect them to go down in temp? No, not really. I expect a little bit more from them. Nail Up does find Luke, so that will be Snip gone as well. And Raise Your Edge portioning off, dividing, 1/4 portion of that western side. It's all theirs, even lingering towards the north. They're just pushing these teams back. Think of the way this hill rolls out, right? Think of how open that kind of eastern area is, where actually there's a lot of teams around that.
Little saving grace is that Red Zone was hampered for all but a moment. Nuclear Penguins went sniffing. They noticed them. They turned. They faced it. But now they're just disconnected completely. They said, okay, well, we'll leave them behind. Atomica Mome all the way up against the blue. It will give them a bit of an unexpected angle, so to speak, especially if they fix it towards Makandak and Koru down below. Nail Up knocked. Remember, Monkey's already gone once. Udy is there now to see 4 players just cresting over that hill towards him, which is the team of GF. Then you've got WP just lingering in a compound in the distance in themselves. Unity still is free, actually. They've got this area completely for clean.
Red Zone might just win this fight. They've split them. The 2 that are a lot towards the north have just been picked up. They've been knocked, and now they've got a 4v2 potentially against the others, or maybe a 4v1 even, considering Udir is all on his own. And keep in your minds, Raise Your Edge were probably in the paramount position in this, and they opted to take these fights, and now they might lose them. We'll see. Keep your eyes on the kill feed. This is the one fight we can't watch right now, but it could be a big deciding one. It won't obviously knock out any of the teams, because obviously Shiv's still alive, unless Shiv gets spotted by Unity. Now towards the east, Tempest are on their knees, bleeding aplenty, and there they go. I think it was Hellscream was your last one standing. Top 5 now. This is going to be quick and dirty for another team at least. Now, good work from Shiv and Udir to combine towards Red Zone. Not letting them get away with it. Only one standing. Momi still stands, though. Still holds on to this, and Shiv is now tasked with, can he save this for Raise Your Edge? Or is this all but done? Might have to sacrifice his own for the greater good here and try and go solo. Momi going forced out towards the low ground. Nice tag, but no frag. Nade will get a couple of knocks, but not enough.
Gia was giving him the information, but Mummy says no, we'll deny that one. And it's kind of scary to think that this all came off the back of Unity's presence. The late game arrival, out of the blue, out of nowhere, to be honest with you, forced Raise Your Edge to go on red alert. They hampered for a second, and then they came back. Then they went to face off against, Red Zone. They come back broken and battered. Unity is now coming to clear up. They're going to collect the last men standing from these 2 teams. Well, they could do some damage here. We did see Lap, Nid, or even just a molly, anything just to skim him. They've got to get it behind that stone. Fire from a distance, though, was GF now want to get involved.
Don't know how much room he's going to get to play with here. You can already see the rest of Unity putting their focus towards Red Zone. That's happening now. Set's gone down, so actually, for Unity, not keeping the 4 alive could be a problem down the end of the line, and Momi's putting up a good fight. He's being a nuisance, because obviously for Unity, they'd want to be looking late game. Now, we did see Party Beetle fighting Micah, the remainder with potential. They go down, and there goes Momi to suit. So now let's look at what we have left. It's a 2v3 now, and actually, Arb just got a good bit of a glimpse towards one of the players. I'm trying to think of who it was, and I wasn't quite sure which member of Unity they saw so cleanly. Probably Dannyman and Herzen, as those are the 2 that are on the side of the hill that could potentially have a fight on. But Unity have had a high fragging game here. I don't know how many kills. GF has 12. Big kill game for both of these teams, so certainly feeling out the game here. For Arb, obviously the temptation to swing towards the north and try and catch that flank on either Orange or Danimon would be ideal, but you're not going to be gifted that freedom when you have a player disadvantage. That vest is not looking so hot now for Party Beetle. He's looking worse for wear, but he's keeping the attention. He needs Arb to bail him out of this, but I don't think he can do. The nades, they may not be as strong as they were, but they're still strong enough. And Arb now left in a 1v3, trying to find some room to make the play, but the position's been noted. If he can catch off one, maybe get a flush, that'd be excellent. Flash in the hands of one. Nice spray. Not good enough. Unity arrived late to the party, Rich, but then my